The Living Higher series. I'm sorry that I missed the past couple of weeks, but we're back now. We're ready to go, Bez Hashem. We're gonna be back with a Starkheit. And this week's topic is, we're not just spinning our wheels. We're not just spinning our wheels. This week's Parsha is Parsha Vayishlach. We have one of the seminal moments in our nation's history. We have the moment where we become the Bnei Yisrael, where we're called Yisrael. What happens? The Torah tells Vayivasi Yaakov Levada, Yaakov returned alone. Yaakov returned alone to pick up the Pachim Ketanim, to collect the small jugs that were left behind. He encounters the Malach, the angel of Esav, who tries to overcome Yaakov Avinu. He's not able to. And they fight. They wrestle one with the other until the morning comes. And when morning comes and the Malach sees that he cannot overcome Yaakov Avinu, he says, release me, it's my turn to sing the Shira, it's my turn to sing the praise to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And Yaakov Avinu asks him, what's his name? He said, my name doesn't matter. He says, Yaakov, what's your name? Yaakov says, Yaakov. And he says, no, from now on, you can be called Yisrael. Why are you going to be called Yisrael? Kisarisa Elokim va'anashim batucha. Kisarisa, because you struggled. That the reason why we're called the Bnei Yisrael, and this is so important to realize, is because of this struggle, because of this epic struggle that Yaakov Avinu had with the Malach, that the Malach couldn't overcome. That our whole name, the Bnei Yisrael, which are Tzaddik HaKayin and Tzidkas Tzaddik, Oistin Dalet says, Iker HaYahadus Hu B'Shem Kriyas Yisrael, B'Kriyas Shem Yisrael. That the Iker of Yahadus, the Iker of Judaism, is this fact, this idea that we're called Yisrael, that we're called Yisrael because why? Because of the struggle with the Malach. This is so important to realize. So often we look at things that, did we win the Yetzer Hara or did we lose to the Yetzer Hara? But when we're locked in that arm wrestle, when we're struggling, when we push him off, we don't think about that. But Bnei Yisrael, the reason why we're called Yisrael is Kisarisa, is because of this struggle. But it's so much more. There's so much more going on in these sukkim that we have to take a look what's going on behind these sukkim. So the Torah starts off by Vayivasi Yaakov Levadai, and Yaakov remained alone. What does it mean that he was alone? The Torah is Yaakov Yosef. Yaakov Yosef tells us that Levadai means that Yaakov felt on his level disconnected from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He felt so alone. The Nesiv Shalom tells us that what does it mean Adolos HaShachar? That when do we have our biggest struggles with the Yetzer Hara? When do we feel that we're so alone, so disconnected, that we're fighting the Yetzer Hara on our own? That's when we have choshech in our life, when our life is dark. And we have to realize that there's going to be an Adolos HaShachar, that there's going to be a morning that's going to come. We have to hold on until that morning comes. But it's so much more than that. Vayavik Ishimai. Rashi says, Vayavik is a lashon of avak, which means dust. Vayavik has the sherish, has the root word avak, dust in there. What's the significance of dust? Rashi tells us that when Yaakov and the Malach were struggling, when they were wrestling one with another, they were kicking up dust in their struggle. Dust was getting kicked up from their feet while they were struggling. What's the significance of the dust getting kicked up from their feet? So the Gemara in Chulin, that's Tzadi Aleph Amid Aleph, and this is in the Zohar HaKadosh as well, tells us that this dust that got kicked up from their feet went up to the Kisi HaKavod. This was holy dust. This was dust being kicked up from somebody struggling with his Yetzer Hara. Where does that dust go? That dust goes straight to the Kisi HaKavod. This is something that's so important that we have to realize in our lives. Sometimes we could feel alone. We feel disconnected from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We feel like we're by ourselves. Sometimes you could have a person that's surrounded by people. He's in a crowd, yet he feels so alone. He feels such darkness in his life. And he's struggling with his Yetzer Hara. And ultimately, he might fall. He might lose that battle with his Yetzer Hara. And he looks at himself, see, I knew I couldn't do it. That is the wrong way to think about it. We're not just spinning our wheels. We're not just here not doing anything, even if it feels like right now we're not accomplishing. These moments of struggle, these moments where we push off the Yetzer Hara, we say, not right now, even if ultimately we fall. But right now, we hold on, we push off, We struggle with our Yetzer Hara, that dust that we're kicking up when we're spinning our wheels, that dust that is flying up in the air is going straight to the Kisei HaKavod. Rabbi Yaakov Meir Shechter, in Lekt HaMorim, Kedusha V'Tara, he calls this struggle, these moments of struggle, he calls them moments of nitzchias, that we forget about them, especially when it resulted at the end of the day when we fell, when we didn't beat our Yetzer Hara, when ultimately we gave in to our Yetzer Hara. We don't think about those moments of struggle. But he says those are moments of nitzchias, that one day in the Olam Haba, when we go upstairs, we're going to look back at all those moments where we held off the Yetzer Hara. Or even if we didn't succeed in holding off the Yetzer Hara, but where we struggled with the Yetzer Hara, we were locked in that arm wrestle trying, those are moments of nitzchias, those are moments of forever that could never be taken away from us. Those are moments when we become Yisrael, when we earn our name, the B'nai Yisrael. Those are moments that we're struggling, trying to hold on, fighting our Yetzer Hara. This is the struggle of life. This is what life is all about. In Mesilas Yesharim, in the first parak, it says that a person has to know. What are we doing over here? And then it says that the truth is that a person is placed in the midst of a raging war. Our life, we're placed in the midst of a raging war. Our Shlomo Volba is Medayak. He says, Mesilas Yesharim tells us that a person has to know what is his chayiv, what is his chiyuv, what is his obligation ba'olamai, in his world. Not what is my chiyuv in the world, but ba'olamai, in his world. It says Rosh Hashanah that each person has to realize that we are an olam malay. We are a whole entire world. Every single one of us, that we're placed in this battle, and we have to figure out what we have to do in our world. You see, when we're fighting, when we're in the struggle, especially if ultimately we fall, we don't look at us as if we're an entire world. We don't look at us as if we're an olam malay. We don't look at ourselves like that. We look at ourselves like failures. But that's not true. And this is the lesson. As it says, Iker hayahadus hiu Hashem kriyas Yisrael. Being called Yisrael, earning our name Yisrael is why? Is because of the struggle and realizing that even if ultimately we fall, but when we struggle with our Yetzer Hara, when we push off our Yetzer Hara, when we're fighting with our Yetzer Hara, we feel like we're spinning our wheels, but that dust that's getting kicked up is dust that is going to the Kisei HaKavod. It is holy dust. These are moments of nitzchias. These struggles, these moments of struggle will last forever. Let's try to live a little higher, and let's realize that it's not just about whether we win or lose. Of course, ultimately we want to win. And if we lose one battle, we have to focus on the big war that's going on. But we have to look at ourselves, and we're an olam malay. And our struggle, those moments of struggle, those are moments that are going to last forever. Those are moments when we're becoming the B'nai Yisrael. B'siyata d'shmaya.